An equation that can be written in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0 or standard form is called a quadratic equation in one variable. The solution of the equation is the root of the equation. There are several methods to solve quadratic equations. You can solve them by graphing by finding the x-intercepts of the related function y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. You can solve them by using square roots and rewriting the equation in the form u squared equals d, where u is an algebraic expression. You can also solve them by factoring, or using the zero product property and factoring the equation to solve. The zero product property says that if a and b are expressions and a times b equals to 0, then either a equals 0 or b equals to 0. The symbol I is an imaginary unit that represents the square root of -1. If r is a positive real number, then the square root of -r can also be written as I times the square root of r. This means that the quantity I times square root of r squared equals -r. Complex numbers are written in the standard form a plus b times I, where a and b are real numbers and b times I is imaginary. A number is an imaginary number when b is not equal to 0 in the expression a plus b times I. A number is a pure imaginary number when a equals 0 and b is not equal to 0 in the expression a plus b times I. A number is a real number when b equals 0 in the expression a plus b times I. The sums of complex numbers can be represented in the equation a plus b times I plus c plus d times I equals a plus c plus b plus d times I. The difference of complex numbers can be represented by the equation a plus b times I plus c plus d times I equals a minus c plus b minus d times I. To create a perfect square trinomial, you need to add a term to your expression, x squared plus b times x. This is called completing the square. You can use the equation x squared plus bx over 2 squared equals the quantity x plus b over 2 times x plus b over 2 equals the quantity x plus b over 2 squared. The quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus the square of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. To solve quadratic equations using the quadratic formula, plug in values from the equation ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. The discriminant of the quadratic formula is b squared minus 4ac. If the discriminant is greater than 0, it means that there are two real solutions, or two x-intercepts. If the discriminant is equal to 0, it means there is one real solution, or one x-intercept. If the discriminant is less than 0, then there are no real solutions, or no x-intercepts. A system of nonlinear equations are equations in which at least one of the equations is nonlinear. To solve the two equations, graph the two equations, and find the point of intersection between them, which is the solution. Another way to solve the equations is substitution. First, isolate one variable. Then, substitute the variable for the value that you get in the second equation. Next, solve for the other variable. Finally, plug in the solution into one of the original equations to find the value of the other variable. Another method is to use elimination. First, eliminate a variable by subtracting two equations. Next, solve for the other variable. Finally, plug in the variable into one of the original equations to find the value of the other variable. Graphing quadratic inequalities with two variables requires graphing the parabola. The parabola is dashed if it has less than or greater than signs. The parabola is solid for less than or equal to and greater than or equal to signs. Next, select a point in the parabola and plug it into the inequality. If the answer is the solution of the parabola, shade inside the parabola. If otherwise, shade the outside of the parabola. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoyed this video.